Kaushik, welcome to the Marketing for Business podcast.
Oh, mate, pleasure to be here.
Mate, I'm looking forward to our chat. I always get excited talking to marketers, but I'm doubly excited today because we're going to talk, and I'm going to mention 4 key powerful words that every business owner needs to be, well, I'm going to change that need. It must be doing in 2025, and that is the power of video. You know, and you're the man for this. I thought if there's one person I can talk to about video and getting the ideas out of people's heads, it's video. And that's one of the things that I've noticed you're really, really good at. So this is going to be a great chat.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Mate, I've been talking to people, and like anyone who'd listen, you know, I'm telling them about video. But I remember when I first started this podcast, I actually recorded some of the episodes in your studio. Dark Matter studio there, and I was always, you know, like talking to you about video and the power of it. And I think that was one of the things we really started to notice with the podcast. When we started producing it in video format, it really started to take off. So why do you think the power of video really captures people today, especially the, you know, people viewing it?
I think it comes down to 2 key reasons. So video, it instantly helps you build rapport, right? So when people see you, they hear you, they know what you sound like, they know who you are. Mate, the first time you have a meeting with them, it's like they already know you from watching you know, all the videos that you've made. So
that's a cool part of it, right? It does build that trust. It builds that know, like, and trust. And I think, you know, you're right. When people see, oh, I've seen you on video, you know, and I feel like I know you. I feel like I've related to you. And I think that's the thing I want for people watching this, right? I've got a few clients that will be watching this and started to do video, and I've noticed them start to get better and better at it. There'll be some other people that are just not wanting to try it, but hopefully this podcast is going to change that for them, because that is one key. When you start doing videos, you get that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it instantly builds the fact that people actually remember what you do as well. Yeah, I think that's one thing I've noticed with videos is the more you talk about things, the more you talk about topics within your industry and what you're doing, people just instantly build that connection.
Yeah. I think also, like with video, you can't kind of fake it, right? You're like, if you know, like we're here today having a discussion face to face, you know, I know AI is going to be video and all that sort of stuff, but I still think people get and see authentic videos, right? And I think that's one of the key things moving forward. If you want to build trust, and if you want to build in a world that's kind of where people maybe don't trust as many people, video is a great way to do that. And you can't fake the knowledge you have inside your head.
No, and you can't fake it either.
No,
like you did say AI is going to take over and create avatars and all that, but this you can't fake. No, you can't fake conversations. You can't fake, you know, the questions we ask each other, the kind of knowledge that comes out. That's just conversation.
Crazy, like when you think about it, people I always talk to people and say, like, you have so much knowledge inside your head. If you just shared some of those insights, like, you would be surprised how much your business grows because more and more people will come to you, but it just stops them. And I want to talk to you later on a wee bit about some steps on how people can get over that. But firstly, I want to know something. Hey, you're probably the first qualified engineer I've had on this. Well, qualified engineer is now turned into a video marketing expert. Like, what was your expertise back in the day?
Yeah, so I actually studied geotechnical engineering.
Wow.
And we worked in the industry for a bit. But to be honest, my family has always been behind the camera.
Oh, really?
My granddad.
Oh, that's cool.
Back in Fiji, so I'm originally from Fiji.
Yep.
He was a photographer back in the, it would have been like late 70s, 80s. My dad took it up for a bit as a hobby, and my cousins are all professional photographers.
Oh, really?
So I actually went into engineering trying to get away from production, but it didn't quite work out that way. So yeah, I guess it's in my blood.
Yeah, and what sort of video and photography content were they doing? Are they doing like weddings or that sort of stuff? Or
yeah, well, so back in the 70s and 80s, there wasn't really much to do in Fiji apart from weddings. So
yeah, true.
And my cousin actually, he does wedding photography as well.
So good. So you went to do something else and become an engineer. And I noticed definitely on your LinkedIn profile, you didn't last too long in working in that job. With a bit of peer pressure from the family.
Yeah, a little bit. But also I got a scholarship to go study engineering, so I couldn't say no to that. So I did that. I started in 2014. 2015, I got my first proper job in engineering while I was still studying. And I left engineering in the industry a couple of months before I graduated.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't actually do much after I got my degree.
And when you started looking at the bigger picture of what you were going to do, and obviously, you know, going through that degree and everything and starting to work through, could you just feel it probably wasn't right for you? Like, is it?
Yeah, sometimes, you know how you're sitting at a desk and you're kind of just like, man, I don't really want to be here.
No. Yeah.
I had a year of that. So
yeah.
I think it was time for me to move on. And yeah, it just wasn't really fueling the creative side.
Yep. You also read that you're a part of civil defence. You're a volunteer. Yeah, been for quite a while. What's the story behind that? I haven't met too many people that do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I was part of the New Zealand rescue team for a while. I still am on and off, but that was just purely, I started that when I was studying, actually, as just a way to meet people.
Yep.
Learn some life skills, learn to tie some ropes and
nice.
hang off roofs and all that stuff, and actually turn into something I enjoyed. So I think I did that for about almost 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Some really cool scenarios as well. We were deployed a few times to various different events around the country. We were deployed when the mosque attacks happened, flooding, all sorts of stuff. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, nice.
And I will go back to it at some stage. We've just had our first child, so it's been a bit busy.
Oh, congratulations. A boy, girl?
Girl.
Oh, nice.
Girl, 6 months old.
It's a gift that keeps on giving. That's all I can tell you. As someone who's a 12-year-old, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Sometimes, you know, like this morning when I got a whack in the head from behind and got dunked on, I'm not sure if it was a gift, but you know, a lot of fun. That's exciting. So congratulations to you.
So let's look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. So we met, and I know you're doing your video. You got a company called Dark Matter. I really like what you put on your LinkedIn profile, and I just wanted to talk through this a wee bit. You say on your signature, the banner, your knowledge sets you apart. We help you put it into work, and like I really like that, and I want to talk to that. I want to talk to like the audience here, business owners. You know, the business owners out there doing the whacking, the cracking, or they're real estate agents, the insurance agents. They're kind of the self-employed kind of types of people. How can video help them?
Yeah, look, it goes back to what you said before, Scott. I don't think people realize how much they know. And the fact that, if someone spent 10, 15, 20 years in the industry, the amount of knowledge that they've built up and the experience, the hard-learned lessons, those things have come from the fact that they've actually done the work. And those things are the things that actually make them really good at what they do.
Totally.
But it's really hard for people who are in it day to day to actually realize what kind of knowledge that they've got sitting in their heads that they can use to create content, to create videos, to do podcasts, whatever it may be. And so our role in that is basically helping them extract all of that knowledge, that experience, that expertise that they've got in their heads and turn them into simple but powerful videos that they can use to build their authority, to become the go-to, and to really put that knowledge to work. And I think for sort of B2B, service-based businesses, complex product businesses, that's the real key. The real differentiator is the fact that they've actually done the work, they've built the knowledge, they've done the hard yard. And now they can talk about it.
I learned a long time ago that people will pay you for your past experience, right? And that there's real value in on your past experience. And I think that's something that people probably don't value enough when they think, and we all get it. And I get it here, especially in New Zealand. Why would someone want to listen to you? Why would someone, want to hear what you've got to say? And I remember my dad actually saying that to me. I was going to speak at a thing in Melbourne, and he said, well, why would someone want to pay to hear you speak? And I thought about it there for a second. I thought, yeah, that's great, Dad. You've been in the same job for 47 years as a freezing worker. There's no way you'd understand, right? But I understood. But that you could let stuff like that hold you back. And I think 100%. That's one of the things too, is people, obviously fear holds people back too. They're worried maybe what other people think of them. Do you think that's one of the things that comes into it?
100%, especially for what I find is businesses that often you need to study for in order to execute. So accountants, lawyers, engineers, etc. There's a lot of that. So there is a lot of, if I say something wrong, this could hurt me, or this could hurt my business. But in reality, because you know your craft in and out, you're probably not going to say something wrong.
No.
Or it's, it might come out a little bit obscure, but it's not going to be wrong.
No.
And if it does, it doesn't really matter, because you're not going to be solving a problem in 30 seconds. No. So it doesn't really matter too much. But that is a big thing that holds a lot of people back from creating content is, what happens if I say something wrong? There's a lot of imposter syndrome in that as well. So people that don't feel like they've done. They might have been in the industry for 20 years, but they don't feel like they know enough. And then the other thing around it is the curse of knowledge. So they know too much, but they don't know what's important enough for people to grasp or understand.
So, okay, let's unpack that I guess for a package for business owners. How that curse of knowledge, how do you take someone that knows a lot about what they're doing, but then they just can't distill it in a way that is snackable for someone to listen to? What's your, you have a framework for that?
Yeah, so typically when we first start working with someone that's got intense knowledge or immense knowledge, we basically ask them, what are the FAQs, right? So if someone's wanting to work with you, there's no doubt that 80% of those questions are going to be very similar.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the base level of where we start. And then from there, we'll often find that brainstorming and asking various questions or asking things in different ways will reveal a whole bunch of other insights that we can talk about. So that's the first place we start is we look at FAQs. We look at things that they're explaining over and over and over again. And we often also ask their staff around things like, what are people asking you, or what kind of emails are you constantly answering, phone calls, what kind of questions. And the reality is a lot of questions are very similar.
Yeah.
They're just asked different ways.
So that's so true, right?
Content.
Yeah. Interesting with that frequently asked questions, like if a business owner listening to this, you could start writing down some frequently asked questions that you get all the time. There's one thing you could start doing, like be curious about this. Don't just listen to this. Go, okay, well, I'm going to challenge myself. What are some of the questions that I get all the time? Because there's gold in those questions. There's also one of the things we work on with our clients is the should ask questions. What are the questions should people be asking me, and answering those conversations, because that really positions you as an expert as well, right? But just easily starting with that knowledge base that you have of those frequently asked questions, and then how do you answer those? What do you say to answer those? And I guarantee, this is the challenge. I think some people wouldn't be interested in that. Well, I can guarantee you, if one person's asking, heaps of other people asking. But there's another position to that, and people will be listening, and some people will be thinking this. So I want you to answer this. Oh, but I don't want to answer that. I don't want to give that information away for free. What do you say to those people?
99% of the time, no one's going to take your information and execute on it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have all of the 15, 20, 30 years of experience that you've got to really deliver that. And most of the time, all people really want is the confidence to know that you can actually help them solve their problem.
Yeah,
and
totally.
The reason and the way you can do that is by actually telling them what you've done and sharing expertise with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I've ever come across any of our clients anyway have come to me and said, so-and-so has taken what I've said and actually done it themselves. Or if they have done it themselves, they're probably going to come back to you and get you to do it anyway. Yeah. Because they might not have executed as well.
I always remember Brett McFall from the World Internet Summit. I was over there in 2006, I think. I was in the Gold Coast. I remember talking to him after the event, and we sort of started becoming friends. And he said to me, Scott, and I came from the corporate world, and I really didn't understand what he was talking about. But he said, Scott, you got to give them value in advance of them ever giving you any money. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, give stuff away for free, what you know, what you're learning. And I was like, well, why would you do that? Because I came from the corporate world, right? And in the corporate world, you didn't do that, right? You held on to that IP and it was yours, right? And he said, you watch, you start giving away stuff for free, and you watch the people will start to do some stuff with your free information, and then they'll come back and want you to do more with, and they'll want to give you money because they'll realize, hey, if this is good stuff for free, what would happen if I paid him or paid them? And I'm a massive, like, I don't know how many years is that later, nearly 19 years later, I'm a living proof that works, right? Because we built our business on that, giving a value away in advance. And I think one of the keys to that, the world has changed, and it's even more important now because the world changed. People's trust factor, we're in a trust recession, I reckon, not just a financial recession. We're in trust recession where people don't believe other people. Yeah. They don't believe you, sorry. They believe other people and what other people say of you. Yeah. But parts of that, you've still got to put your content out there.
Yes.
So to add to that and give them that value. What do you think some people should be sharing? Okay, so you've got frequently asked questions, you've got should ask questions. What is story, and how does stories play a part in all of this?
Yeah, so stories often, when it comes to videos, from the point of view of the customer, work really well. So your testimonials or case studies. Recently, we've started trialing out anonymized case studies. Okay. This is for industries where you can't really divulge who you're working with. So how do you create some stories around an anonymous client? You've helped them solve their problems, and then what the outcome is afterwards. Basically, it's the story brand framework. So those have been working quite well. The other thing that we're trying at the moment with a client is myth busting. Okay. So this particular industry is rife with myths. So we're creating some stories around how can we bust some of these myths.
Nice. And give me an example. What's an example of a myth?
A myth is software licenses still exist. Okay. They haven't existed for a long time. They're probably not going to exist for a long time. But there's companies and people like that still think that software licenses exist. So we're helping them create some content to bust that myth and why you should go to a more of a subscription model versus a traditional license model. Benefits and cons and all that kind of stuff. And how do you know if you're being scammed if someone is selling you a license?
I like it. So in your industry, as someone who's listening and watching, what are some of the myths? What are some of those myths in your industry? I'm going to give you one here, Kush. When you create videos, you have to create videos so you go viral.
Oh, no. I think
that's a myth, right?
100% it's a myth. And unfortunately, we see this all the time. Going viral doesn't necessarily mean the video is going to perform well. No. If your only metric is to go viral, then 100%. But if your idea of success with content is to bring in sales and to build the awareness and generate leads, virality is not something that you want. It's a distraction. And
I also think like understanding who your target audience is, who your market is, who the people that can and want to do business with you and exchange money, etc. You might only need 10 people to grow your business. And one thing I always say to people, if you're creating a video or if you were doing a talk tomorrow and you could have 100 people come in, how would you feel? Well, I'd be ecstatic. That would be amazing. Or if you put a video out there, it gets 100 views. One person could do business with you from that. You don't need 1 million, right?
100%. Yeah. And oftentimes, what I'm finding at the moment as well is if you have videos that go viral, it creates a very false sense of success for content. So because something's gone viral, you're going to expect all of the other pieces of content to perform the same, if not better. And if it doesn't, it's a very slow decline and eventually you don't do anything.
And also, it's just setting you up for poor, like just the wrong expectations too, right? I know, it's funny, you have some clients and they go, when will my video go viral? And it's like, well, and you kind of have to have that education. Like you don't actually need this to go viral.
It's also perspectives. So if you're in an industry of only 1,000 people, and your video gets 999 views.
That's viral.
That's viral in that industry. But may not be in the grand scheme of things. So
I think, when you look the looks of TikTok and stuff like that, it can really, you can blow up some business. I was just reading yesterday, there was a ice cream business, and like fair play to the guy, great work. That is pretty cool. You can have those shots in the arm and get some wins there, but long term, and I think this is the thing with video and with business, you got to be thinking long term. You can't be thinking, hey, I'm going to shoot 1 video or 2 videos and that's me. You've got to be thinking, hey, this is a year project. This is an 18th month. This is 24 months. Stay in the queue kind of.
And the other thing about viral content is it sets you up for a false expectation. So like with that ice cream business, I think they sold 20 grand worth of ice cream in a day. They're going to probably expect to do that for the next month or 2 months. But it might not happen. So a whole bunch of stuff that you can't.
You only have to look at Prime. Prime energy drink for a classic example of that. One day they were selling for $8 and stuff. Now they can't even give the stuff away, right? So that's a classic example of being overhyped. So let's just talk to the business owner. Let's talk to the business owner that's, out there doing the whacking and the cracking, has got a good business, maybe they're B2B, maybe they're B2C. Where do they start? Where's the starting point for video? Like I know you have a thought leadership kind of framework. Let's talk through that and let's give some value to people on how they could start to crystallize their ideas and how would that process work.
So the first place I would start if I was creating videos from scratch for dark matter, is I would look at FAQs.
Okay.
So that would be the first point of call.
So script out, start thinking about your frequently asked questions.
Start thinking about frequently asked questions.
I'm sorry, but everyone has them.
100%.
Everyone has them.
And what you'll often find, if you have enough FAQs, you'll start to see themes.
Yep.
And so those themes can essentially become your monthly themes.
Yeah.
So say for January, talk about whatever.
Yep.
X, Y, Z.
Nice.
And then under each of those themes, you're probably going to have 4 or 5 topics that you can talk about.
Yep.
So that's where I probably start is have your FAQs, figure out some themes, map those themes out for 3-6 months, and then see what kind of topics you can talk about under that.
Just on this point, this is something that we are doing for our clients, and we are basically, the ones that we really want to get them in the AI overviews and etc. into ChatGPT. We are doing this with them every month. Frequently asked questions, content, thought leadership. We want to be in the answer engines with this content. So this is a big one. Like, don't sleep on this. If you're a business owner, get involved in front of the camera, start answering those questions that you get, position yourself as the expert, create a YouTube channel with it, get the content out on the internet, because the AI is going to be reading, looking, putting this information, and if it's you coming up enough times, it's going to start distilling your information. And one thing I would say to that is be very specific with it, with the questions that you have for your industry. Make sure it's really specific content. This is awesome.
And the other thing as well, Google is actually trawling through YouTube for very specific, specifically titled videos that they can show as AI summaries when someone does a Google search. So if someone searches, I don't know, interest rates at the moment. If you've got videos that are answering those specific questions that are titled appropriately, those videos will get pulled from YouTube into your Google searches. And so that's just bonus.
And that's right now. That's happening right now. Like, if you were ever frustrated about what was going on, not being able to rank your website, all that sort of stuff, like, the playing field's actually being leveled right now. You can be doing this, and creating this content and putting it out in front of people and getting it recommended by the AI.
And in New Zealand also, I think there's still a slower uptake when it comes to video content.
Totally.
So there are industries that even we're onboarding at the moment where none of their competitors are doing video content.
No.
Or even thinking about it for them. And first mover advantage.
I think this is the cool thing. The timing of this talk is because there are people not doing this.
100%.
They're sleeping on the video content, and just use the knowledge inside your head, the frequently asked questions, and map those themes. Right, this is good. Cool. What next?
The other thing I would do is if you're going to networking events, generally you have to explain what you do to people. And so oftentimes you'll get questions back from them around specific things or specific directions they want to go down, or examples. I would be taking notes of that.
Nice.
Because if people are asking you those questions at networking events, or just at a party or wherever you're at, that's really good content. Because same thing, 80-20. Other people probably have a similar question.
What people are asking you. And one thing I always say, to people, okay, your job is to be a part-time marketer. Doesn't matter what business you're in, you got to be a part-time marketer. The reason for that is that marketers are curious. I want you to be curious. So when someone asks you that, be curious. Oh, I wonder why they asked me that. Think about that, and then you could turn that into some sort of content, right?
100%. Yeah, I'll give you an example. So we use the term thought leadership pretty much every day with our work. But because we use it every day, we didn't realize how many people don't know what thought leadership is.
True.
So we're creating content now, just educating people around thought leadership.
Thought leadership. Nice. That's a good one, right? Like, what is jargon that you have every day that you could then educate people on what it is?
And there's industries everywhere. Financial industries are a big one for this. There's so much jargon. Even simple things like insurance premiums. I have no idea what a premium is.
No.
So just simple things like that, that's super obvious to you, but to the person on the street, they wouldn't have a clue. They might have heard it a million times. You wouldn't actually know the context behind it.
I remember someone said to me one day, explain the dumb stuff. And when you mean by that is explain the stuff that your jargon that you talk about all the time, explain it and dumb it down. It's not a dumb question, because actually people are asking this, people want to know this.
100%.
You're just positioning it in a way that people don't understand it.
Big time. And a lot of times that knowledge, if someone say leaves the industry and it's not documented, that knowledge goes with them. I'll give an example. I had a car It's probably my second car. And I installed a stereo in it. And I couldn't figure out why it wasn't turning off every time I took the key out. And so one day the battery ran out and the AA guy came and I told him about this problem. And he's like, oh, all you got to do is switch two wires.
Really?
And I spent probably 6 months trying to Google, figure out why this thing wasn't turning off.
How good.
But it's things like that.
Yeah.
People, he's obviously had that problem before. He's solved it.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't lucky enough to get that person that day, I would have never figured it out. So it's the same with content. It's things that are obvious to you and you feel dumb for sharing it.
Yeah.
It's actually super helpful for some.
Well, the insights are so important, right? And I remember with Little India, one of their clients, I remember we're doing some filming inside the restaurant in Maryvale, and one of the chefs said, our curries are sugar-free. And we were like, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, we don't use sugar. We use a tomato and cashew paste base for our curries.
Right.
And then we were like, well, so that makes them sugar-free. So we should be marketing them sugar-free, and like, because other curries had sugar in it. And like at the time, keto was really booming. So that made our dishes keto-friendly. And all of a sudden we had this other marketing spin that we could go to keto-friendly. And then someone asked, well, do you do cauliflower rice? And we spoke to Arjun and said, do we do cauliflower rice? So we said, well, we can in a couple of weeks. So next minute we did cauliflower rice, and we still do today. But that came out of an insight that one of the chefs shared that no one else knew about.
And it's probably a throwaway comment.
A throwaway comment, right? And all of a sudden it opens up this different marketing channel to a different audience that we can then start talking to. I think we sold out with the cauliflower rice. We sold out 2 weeks in a row when we put it on the menu nationwide. And it was just a classic throwaway comment. And that was an insight that closely held by people. And all of a sudden you can share it. And that's what I always say to business owners, never underestimate the knowledge you have inside your head that you think is not really relevant. It will be.
It's irrelevant to someone.
Yeah.
It might not be relevant to the people that you work with already, but someone deciding between you and a competitor, 100% relevant to them.
Yeah. What about the kind of content where, one of the good things I think when you're doing marketing and marketing your business and putting content out there is answer the question that's in everyone's head, right? So okay, if you're talking about mortgage rates, what's everyone thinking about now? Will it drop again? The media is telling and fueling people around us. So answer the question that people already have inside their head, right?
Yeah.
Because that then positions you as the expert. How could people do that more? Because I think that's for B2B especially, that's a real good opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we've got AI on our side now. So I'm finding that even plugging in headlines into ChatGPT and sort of prompting it to, hey, give me sort of 5 things that I can talk about around this.
Nice.
Really good for just content ideas, just headings and things that you can work off. But there's also other tools like there's Answer the Public where you can literally go in and put in some keywords and it'll spit out, I think it's 80 of the most searched Google terms. And you can take that and create some content around that as well. So these tools exist. The other thing as well is if you're, like I'm big on people. So I think conversations are a good indicator of what kind of content you should create. So if you're out there talking to people, what are they concerned about?
Nice.
What are they trying to figure out? Is someone got a very specific scenario that you could potentially talk about in a video?
Yeah.
Or has something happened to a client that you could touch on and sort of use that as an example to educate other people on?
Yeah.
So I think, a mixture of those tools is a really good place to start, just around current affairs and what's going on and how you can spin that in different ways.
Well, one of the cool things about that is if you're sharing current affairs and you're sharing stories, one of the coolest parts about that is, I was actually talking to a gentleman this morning about this. He was telling me about some stories and I said, do you know why people like sharing stories? And he said, no, I don't really know. What do you mean by that? I said, well, the reason people like to share stories is they want to be interesting to the other person, right? But the value that someone else gets from you telling a story? And he was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, there's value. You sharing that story with someone, there's value back to them. And he goes, what do you mean by that? He said, well, later on during the day, they're going to then tell that story to someone else. And they're going to be the interesting one, right? So all of a sudden you've given them a tool to share that they can be interesting to other people. And he was like, wow, I'd never thought of it like that. And I was like, this is the power of telling a story, and if you can be part of that story and then people share that story with other people, all of a sudden, you get known by more people.
That's it.
And so this is you start thinking about that, and you can be part of someone's day by sharing the things that are going on in your day, and having an impact, which I think this is the power, once again, coming back to video, this is the power of video. You can be, one of the things I'm going to talk about it with you is, and some of the things that you're seeing here, the power of being everywhere when you've only recorded something once.
Yeah.
Like this podcast is a great example, right? We're talking here for an hour. We're gonna put this on YouTube, and then we're gonna edit it, and then we're gonna cut it into shorts. And we've spent an hour doing this, and we're probably gonna get, I don't know how many hours value out of this. Probably 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 hours of content will be consumed from this 1 hour.
That's incredible, right?
Tell me that's not good ROI for a business owner.
That's that's just incredible.
Yeah.
But there's also the other side of that is if you're talking at events, if you're doing speaking gigs, things like that, and if they're recorded, those can all be pieces of content as well. So all of a sudden you've got, an hour that you spent speaking in front of people, that could be turned into hours and hours of content afterwards as well. So the ability to repurpose video content, especially long form video content, pays dividends.
It does. So hopefully we're convincing you that you need to do video, but if we're starting off, we're doing frequently asked questions. We're also then having conversations. We're also, listening to what people are talking to us about and the questions they're asking us, and we're being curious. We're interested in people. Where else can we get some ideas from? Obviously, software is really good. You just mentioned Answer the Public. I'd say Quora is inside that. Reddit's inside that as well. Obviously, AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. You can get content from that. Where else can people get some ideas from?
Yeah, good question. I'll give you some examples around where we get our ideas from. So first and foremost comes from conversations. So everything starts from conversations, whether it's networking events, clients, emails, text messages, calls, etc. Everything feeds into, we've got a Notion page, which is called a content ideas page, and it's got thousands of ideas in there now, but it's all come from conversations. We then take those conversations, those initial topics, those ideas, and we filter them through what's relevant now. Okay. So if there's anything that's happening in the market right now that's relevant, a few weeks ago, it was Google Via that came out. So we went back to our list and said, okay, cool, what's in here about AI that we can talk about? Nice. So we pulled out some AI topics, and we created content on that. So I think, if you're having conversations and you're having them frequently, and you're documenting them, putting them into tools, that's a really good place to start. Yeah. So I'm going to go old school and say Notepad.
Notepad. So okay, I've got a bunch of ideas. Yeah. And I'm going to take the jump. How do I get started? Like, how does someone with they've got a phone, okay? They could record on that, or because one thing I know from people is they'll let the technology get in the way. Yeah, they'll let that be their excuse, right? And I get it, because it's freaking hard, right? I'm lucky enough, I've got a team here now, and I've done it myself for record a video, and then you have to try and edit it and do that sort of stuff. And what do you say to someone who is sitting there, got a bunch of ideas? What do you say to them to get that first video online?
Yeah, cool. So do it with someone else. Nice. So find someone, could be a staff member, could be a partner, whatever, and get them to ask you the questions.
Yeah, nice.
Because they'll be able to filter through all of the things that are not good and focus on the things that are good. Yeah. And they'll tell you if you need to do retakes and all that kind of stuff as well. Yeah. So that's what I would do. The easiest place to start is find someone that's happy to sit down with you for an hour, ask you some questions, and then tell you which ones are the good ones and which ones are the not so good ones.
It's a great idea. Find a buddy that you could match up with and help each other out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So the crazy part is, like when I first started the podcast, I recorded, I think, 80 episodes on my iPhone. Yeah. And even like the video content was on my iPhone when I first started doing videos, right? Now, obviously there's a bit more setup and all that sort of stuff, but it's not over the top compared to some. And I think everyone has a video. Everyone has a camera, and everyone has the capacity via using their phone, right? There's no excuses today for not doing it. I know a mate of mine, he's created a business, Car Money. Shout out to Greg, who's a client of ours. He shot his first videos on his iPhone, leaned up against a post with a coffee cup, the iPhone leaning against it. He had his AirPods in there, and we gave him the script. He spoke, and like, he's created a really, really successful business just because he just started.
It doesn't take a lot. I've seen people literally duct tape their phones to windows so they produce a natural light.
Nice. That's a good idea.
All sorts of stuff. So I don't think technology is a barrier anymore as much as it used to be. Even audio quality on phones is so much better now. I think it's just that it's always hard to start things on your own. So if you can find a buddy.
Budding up with someone, that's a great idea. And then so they've got a video, camera, filming, just use your phone.
Just use your phone.
Is there any, like, you said audio is better, but is there anything maybe that people need to invest in? Like,
I think when you're starting out, your phone should do the job. Just find a quiet space. But if you're serious about creating video content, one of the first things you should invest in is probably a good microphone.
And I know I buy a lot of our stuff from Rubber Monkey online and stuff like that. Obviously you can get it from other places like Temu or any local kind of stores. Is there any kind of level that they need to invest in?
No, so I'd probably say buy something that can be used across multiple devices. So you could use it with your phone. You could use it with your laptop if you wanted to create content through Riverside or something along those lines.
Nice.
And then eventually when you step up and get a camera, you can plug it into that as well.
But I know these mics are pretty grungy Rode mics, but I've also got a DJI mic set up on here. And like, for wireless mics, they're relatively inexpensive. They work with iPhones, they work with cameras. Maybe $400 for it itself. It's pretty, like, can we consider the technology? You're not breaking the bank to get some good sound quality.
And there's even places around town that will hire you or rent you microphones as well.
So
if you really want to try it out, you can always go and hire gear.
That's a good idea too.
For a week.
Hire it for a week, give it a go, create some content. And then, hey, I'm going to give this more of a go, so go and invest. Okay, so we've got a buddy, we've recorded some videos. Now what?
Now it's I call this the filtering stage. So your first few videos, it'll be a bit of a brain. You're basically just regurgitating information from your brain. So what I would do then is give that to someone that's not in my industry. And say, hey, look, do you understand this?
Nice.
This makes sense. What are the words that I'm saying that you have no idea what the definitions are? What do I need to simplify?
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be super complex. Like don't give them an hour-long video. Give them a few snippets of 30-second ones.
Perfect.
But get them to just be super critical with it and really spell out what's obvious, what's not obvious, what's confusing, what's complicated. Because that'll give you some really good feedback on what to simplify next time.
That's a good idea. I would say don't give it to a family member.
Don't give it to someone that's polite.
And don't want to hurt your feelings. Give it to someone that knows you, but is prepared to give you and knows enough about your industry, so they can give you some really good feedback. And that's the thing, that feedback could actually really shape the content, and I think that's some good advice there.
And we still do this to this day. So when we create videos, we send it to 2 or 3 people to have a look at.
Nice.
And what we often find is they'll come back with questions as well. So they'll come back and go, hey, what does this mean? Or what do you mean by doing it this particular way?
True.
Why should you do it like this? And so all of that feeds into our content. Notepad.
That's awesome. So you get a bit of filter, understand, hey, this is what's good. This is what you explain a bit better. And then go back and shoot some more videos, or?
I'd probably post the ones that you've done already. Just start from somewhere. Get hard on yourself.
I showed my team a video. I was at the search for it. It was still on YouTube that I shot in 2011. And I was in my office, and my office at the time would have been about as big as this table. And I shot this video, and it was pretty good lighting because there was a window there. But man, I was talking about the internet and how it was going to take off and people were going to buy stuff online. And I just remember, and it was real funny because it was 2011, but it just shows you that first video, those first few videos are cringeworthy, right? But you got to start somewhere.
But if you want to reshare those, it's evergreen content.
Oh, totally.
We reuse those again. My first video that I ever shot, I shot on top of a car park just in the city here, and you could actually see the weather change.
Oh, wow.
Maybe about 4 hours to do it.
Brilliant.
The first half of the video was morning, and then the second half of the video was afternoon. So, but
still works, right? And look, the fear of putting new stuff out there. The cool part about it is the first few videos probably no one will see them.
No. Yeah. That's the beauty of it as well.
Yeah.
It's all trial and error sometimes.
Yeah. What I do like about it though, and I know we get this buzz coming in from our clients when we're out on doing videos and all that sort of stuff on sites, is the amount of people that will they start to feel good about it. They start to feel, hey, this is actually, I can do this. I actually like doing this, and you start to see that people really enjoy because they know inside their head, they know that they have a knowledge, they know they have insights, and they just want someone to help them do it, right?
Yeah. And I think that's where a buddy helps. Yeah. When you're actually talking to someone, you can be a lot more free and a lot more confident because all you're doing really is having a conversation. Yeah. There just happens to be a camera there.
Yeah.
But if you're starting out doing it yourself, then it can be a little bit more daunting.
That's a good point. Like, how do you not? Because I've spoken to people like this, face to face, having a good old chat. Put a camera on them, and then all of a sudden they go blah blah blah. What are some of the ways that you do to coach people through that? Or what is, if someone's working with their buddy, what are some of the ways they could help each other out?
Yeah, so I would say have a structure. Yep. So have a clear start and a clear end, because that'll give you some bookends to work with. So, and usually the thing that people struggle with the most is how to start and end a video. Yeah. So if you have hey, welcome to XYZ, we're going to talk about ABC, and then you dive into your content. And then at the end of it, it's, well, if you want to have a chat about this, get in touch. Perfect. So bookends are really important, especially when you're starting out, because it'll give you a very definite start and finish. And if you run out of things to say, then you can just go into your outro. So that's probably a good place to start. The other thing is if you're someone that likes scripting, there's already a lot of scripting frameworks out there. So there's the attention, interest, delight, action. There's
so is there was
attention, interest, delight, action,
action. Like it.
Yeah, and there's the problem, pain, solution, promise, model.
Yeah.
So these are really good frameworks just to help you get things out of your head and put it under definite headings. And then you can fudge some words around to make it a bit of a script or a bit of a sort of a bullet point.
So do you think like hooks and that are really, really important in creating content and creating videos?
I think it depends on the industry. So
what I mean by hook is grabbing attention at the start, right? So, like you always hear people say, oh, you've got to have a hook. You got to get their attention. But
I think if you're like B2C, retail, hospitality, product-based, definitely. Because you are competing with people's attention. Yeah. For service-based, B2B, complex businesses, you don't really need a hook because a lot of the content that you're going to be talking about is going to be relevant to people watching. So hooks are not as important for
especially in some of those industries, because you just end up being clickbait, right? Like it's just like, that's not,
and it feels disingenuous as well. Yeah, trying to solicit a view. Yeah, by sort of hooking someone in. Yeah, when if they're wanting to do business with you, that's not how they're going to do business.
Yes. And if those people really have a problem and you have the solution, they will take the time, they will invest their time to listen to you and binge content that you have, because you are giving them the answers that they want, and you don't need to nail people in the first 3 seconds for that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I think, and it also puts a lot of pressure on the people creating the content as well. Yeah, because a lot of times, a lot of the feedback I hear is if you don't get them in the first 3 seconds, you've lost them for the next 30. Yeah. Which is actually not true. Yeah. If you've got good enough content that people are genuinely interested in, you'll retain them. Yeah. Regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I guess that's when people are trying to sell views because that's how they make their money. Yeah. And so they give that advice because they need those views to get paid by Meta or paid by YouTube, etc. Where if you're just doing it to educate people and have influence over a period of time, that then they become your client, and that client's worth 120 grand to you. Yeah. You're not actually too worried about the views, right?
And hooks often go out of style. So if you have a hook that's very relevant to today, that's not going to create a video that's evergreen. Yeah. So in 2 years' time, that first portion of your video might become completely irrelevant. Yeah. And so it becomes, not that interesting anyway.
That's a really good point, and I think that's why when we start to look at developing content for AI and developing content for YouTube, one thing I've noticed with definitely, and YouTube brought out a really good report about this recently for their 20th year, is that videos are getting shorter, but more people are watching them.
Yeah.
But videos are getting longer and more people are watching them. So you're getting this two types of people. People want that short, sharp, hey, buzzy type information, and it's that adrenaline snap bite. And then you got people who are having dinner and educating themselves. And there's two different types of clients right there, right? And
100%.
One's probably not a client, to be fair, but the other one is for a lot of B2B business owners.
100%. Yeah, I think I've just recently started watching a podcast called Acquired, and they're about 3.5 hour episodes.
Yep. Yeah.
But they're super interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So you still go through them anyway. Might take a few sittings, but so I don't think length of content is as much of a barrier as it was.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think people have the attention spans to spend time consuming content.
Yeah.
The content just has to be relevant.
It has to be relevant, and it has to be usable for those people to get value out of it, right?
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's like, if you go to a shop to buy something and it's out of stock, you feel kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Same with content. If you click on something to watch it, you do want to get some value out of it. And that's why people come back.
And that's because time is people's most important thing, right? Yeah. This is really, really interesting. What else, when you think about video and you think about the future of where it's going, what are some of the things that you're educating your clients on, and some of the things that they really need to be doing now or being aware of? Because I think YouTube is a massive opportunity for people, and it's glad you brought it up, because one of the things I was starting to see, YouTube video stays around.
Yeah.
So you're getting value for the return on your money.
Yes.
Versus that short form video content doesn't stick around where a YouTube video is sticking around. So what are some of the things you're seeing there?
Yeah, I'm seeing the rise of evergreen content now.
Yep.
More than before. So I think in the last sort of 2 or 3 years there was a big hype around follow the trends.
Yeah.
Do what everyone else is doing, and you might get a bit of a spike in your views, a bit of a spike in your engagement, but then that'll go away and then kind of becomes irrelevant. But the thing with that is you've spent quite a bit of money creating the content plus time for it to only be obsolete in a few years.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing at the moment is people intentionally, or businesses intentionally, wanting to create evergreen content that they can keep using for years and years and years. And part of that is also to build a content library for their potential future customers to come back and look at.
Nice.
It's also for them to provide resources to their audience. And evergreen content never really goes out of style either.
Yeah.
So you can, that video from 2011, still around, still relevant.
Yeah.
And people will still get value from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's so as a business owner, this is the challenge for you, is look at those things that have lasted a long time inside your business. How could you document that? How could you create some content around that? And just don't get caught up in, no one will want to know about that. You'll be surprised. There'll be some people that want to know about that, and it could just be that one thing that actually, you always say, you're one conversation away. You could be one video away from that new client just by making it, right?
100%. And the uptake, when you first put out your first video, you're not going to see any return from it, but the return comes after a period of time.
Yeah.
So, 9, 10, 12 months later, you might get a client that started watching your videos 10 months before.
And this is the thing I love. This is the thing I love we might have talked about this before, because I love it because someone will come in my door, and I've even started hearing it with the team because we're putting out videos. Someone came in the door the other day and said to Olivia, I really loved you on those videos. I really loved you on the videos. And all of a sudden Olivia was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Had it with Bronte, had it with Renee. I get, people, what, I've been watching your videos. So I got it the other day. I was talking to someone. I said, God, I really liked that podcast you did with such and such the other day, and I'm like, I recorded that one ages ago, right? Yeah. So the value of that and how it sticks around and how all of a sudden it starts to snowball. And this is the thing I wish for everyone. You don't actually have to hit, you don't have to go viral. No. You just have to be consistent with it. And then all of a sudden they start to snowball. All those little views start to stack up. 100%. Someone will come in your door and say, hey, I'm ready to do business. Yeah. And I put it down to quality versus and quantity. Yeah. Some people are quantity people. Yeah. They need to see you 50 times before they make that one decision. Yeah. They're still good for your business, but they need to see that volume. There'll be another person there who will come and watch 1 or 2 videos and go, hey, I want to do some business. Yeah. And I know this because this happens all the time in our business. Hey, watch this video. Want to come in to have a chat? You know, the challenge for the business owner is they must create that one video, then that next video, then the next video, then the next video.
Yeah.
And the challenge is being prepared to wait and not get immediate return.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. I think the biggest factor with content is consistency.
Yeah.
That's the biggest determination of success.
Yeah.
And we had something similar recently. I created a video on distribution about 3 years ago, and we just onboarded a client a couple of weeks ago that came from that video.
Yeah.
And they haven't watched any other videos except for that one.
They remember, right?
And so it does work, but you do need to be consistent with the outputs.
There'll be on my tombstone, consistency of message plus frequency reach to create relevancy.
Yeah.
You know, and I just believe in it because I've seen it so many times. If you've got a message and you're consistent with it and you're marketing it on video, you have frequency of reach with people that can and want to buy from you, you become relevant over time. And the beautiful part about it is when the customer is ready and you're the most relevant, guess who gets shopped?
Yeah, it's I call it buying the mental real estate.
Nice.
The more you do it,
Yeah.
the more you're building your real estate in someone else's mind. So every time they need that problem solved, could be in a year's time, could be in 10 years' time.
So good.
They think of you.
Yeah. Yeah, look, if you want to grow your market share, you've got to grow someone's mind share.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the way to do it. Video is the best way to do it.
Video is the best way to build because you're seen and you heard. It's the best way to build rapport.
The crazy part about it, and this is what I think, you know, I sound like a broken record here, but there's never been a better time because it's actually free to just create a video on your iPhone and distribute it. You could have it done in 15 minutes and have it out on LinkedIn.
Yep.
You could have it out on YouTube. You could have it on Meta, whether that's Facebook and Instagram, like TikTok. You could actually have a video out there doing the work for you for free.
100%.
Like imagine if I said to you, hey, Kush, we're going to create a video and we're going to put it on primetime TV and it's going to be free. Would you take that opportunity? You would, right?
Yeah.
I know right now we've got clients, you know, it's $6,000 for a 15-second, you know, prime time is $6,000 for 15 seconds, you know, but you can get reach with people who can and want to buy from you on media. You know, it's not just social media anymore. They just forget actually social. It's actually media now. On media for free.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right?
Or ridiculously cheap. Like on a YouTube pre-roll, you don't pay for. If they skip in the first 30 seconds, you don't pay at all.
Yeah.
So that's free advertising.
Free advertising.
Things like that, you know. So if you do a video once, you can use it organically. You can use it for pay.
Yeah.
You can use it in your nurture sequence. You can use it wherever.
Hey, dude.
So
Game's changed, people.
It's it's a bit of a. I think through my lens, it's a bit of a secret weapon. For businesses.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Video doesn't work. Hey, let's switch gears. Let's talk about LinkedIn. I know you're on LinkedIn. You're part of LinkedIn Local. You bought the LinkedIn Local back. Talk to me about LinkedIn and talk to me how you use LinkedIn. And talk to me how people should be using LinkedIn.
Yeah, for sure. So I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
When I first started off, I just did the classic connect with everyone. Yeah. Build your connection numbers and hopefully someone sees it and does business.
Someone told you to do that. You thought it was a good idea, right?
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No.
So recently what I've been doing is I've actually just been cutting back a lot of my connections, but connecting with people who I know are either able to make decisions on what we do, get us in through the door, or people that would genuinely be interested in what the kind of content that we're putting out.
Yeah, nice.
And so that's actually changed the way LinkedIn is working for me at the moment. So we went from, with the spray and pray method, probably getting one conversation every 10 videos we posted. Now we're getting 4 or 5 conversations per video we post.
So do you ID people that you think and want to connect with? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, well, we've got personas. So we've got, kind of just some very rough avatars of people that would be our customers and would be consumers of our content.
Nice.
So they've sort of fallen into 2 categories. So every time I'm connecting with people on LinkedIn, I'm going, right, is this person eventually going to be able to do business with us?
Perfect.
Or would they get value from the content that we create?
Yeah. So they get value anyway? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So through that lens, just building a network of people that are that I feel would be a good fit for what we do.
A couple of things I heard there, and I think as a business owner, you really want to unpack this. You know, and I've said this for a long time, be intentional. Be very intentional about what you want to do. Depth of connection versus width of connection. I would rather have depth and know people versus having, you know, it was called a lion status back in the day. I think it was 50,000 connections or something like that. It was called you were a lion. And so people just connected willy-nilly, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was the width of connection. No one knew you. No one really knew you. You probably would walk past people in the street that you're connected with and not even know them. Well, what's the point of that, right?
That's it.
Business. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. End of, right? So build that depth like you were doing. All of a sudden, you go from one conversation to 4 to 5 to 6, putting out the quality content.
100%.
Yeah, good.
And off the back of that as well, because you're having these conversations, you generated conversations off the back of content, you'll get people that reach out to you with questions of their own, with comments of their own. And then all of a sudden that feeds into your content engine as well.
I love it.
So it kind of all feeds into each other. So yeah, LinkedIn for me for now it's probably our biggest source of revenue.
I like how you,
the intentionality.
But by being intentional, you've really flipped it on its head and it's working for you versus, you know, you're actually using the media. And I think this is a real opportunity for business owners. You're either a consumer or a producer, you know, and I always say to people, look, you've got to sit on the producer side, right? Yep, sure, you can consume content. Be on the producer side and talk to the people that know, like, and trust and can and want to do business with you. And this is what you've done, this is a good example of how to use it for business.
And I think the numbers also stack up in your favor as well. I think it's like less than 1% or 2% of LinkedIn users create content.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much opportunity to reach the right people if you're connected with them.
That's the good part as well. Once again, it's a free media.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to put some time into it. You can put some effort into it, but there's some real people in there that want to do business. They want answers to their questions. They want help, right? There's lots of professionals that want help. Sure, there's lots of people on there giving help and all that sort of stuff, but you show up being unique. You show up adding value. You show up sharing insights and giving people an opportunity.
And being genuine.
Yeah.
And coming from a place of genuinely wanting to put out helpful content helps. I've seen a lot of content from local creators that are very salesy, sort of, you know, very, very
Bum shit.
Yeah, very obvious that they're trying to flog something.
Flog something.
That doesn't work. Yeah, unfortunately.
No,
well, actually,
I had a real estate agent trying to flog me something this morning, and I'm smart enough and know enough people to know that was a junk deal, and I'm going to tell him tonight it was junk, you know. But you know, you can just smell it too. Commission brief, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But I think a part of that is also being okay with the fact that you might not get anything by putting out this piece of content now. Yeah. But it'll probably come back in a few months' time.
I think that's probably the thing that I've somehow understood early on. And I'm pretty sure Brett might have drilled this into me. Don't expect any return.
Yeah.
You know, don't expect immediate return. And I think that's the thing, because I'm not attached to the outcome, I've just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably the same as well. You don't need that return straight away. I don't need someone to say, oh, a great video for a start. And I don't need someone to give me money for that video because of what I've done straight away either. Yeah. And I think if you can get past that and you can say, right, I'm going to do this for 12 months, because I say this to people all the time, you can do this for 12 months. If you can consistently turn up for 12 months on video, your business will be totally different. And on that 12 months, 18 months, and you wait for 2 years, it'll be on a trajectory that you'll ever seen.
We actually ran the numbers. So the first year we did consistent content, and this was with the spray and pray method, connecting with everyone. We added about 60K to our revenue. Just by doing videos consistently. And that's only work that came through that we could directly attribute to the videos. They either mentioned they saw the video or we expected they came from the video. That's probably 5-10 times now.
Yeah. How good?
Being intentional.
But
it's taken probably 3 or 4 years to get there as well. But it all compounds.
Was it worth the wait?
100%.
Because now you know the secret that if you just keep doing that, you know, you're going to win again and again and again. Tell me about LinkedIn Local and why you're part of LinkedIn Local. What's that?
So LinkedIn Local, look, I've been part of LinkedIn Local since 2020, so a long time. And I recently took over from the people that had it before. And the reason I keep it going is because I'm a bit of an introvert. So walking into your traditional networking event where there's a room full of 100 people, it's a little bit intimidating. So LinkedIn Local is basically it's a facilitated networking event for people that are either introverted or new to business or want to have good conversations with people in the room. Come along, we'll facilitate it for an hour.
Nice.
After that, it's kind of, open floor, do your thing.
And how often do you run them?
We run them every 6 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, so about 4 to 5 times a year.
What I like about the ones I've been to, and I must admit I haven't been one recently, but I love LinkedIn people, like the business vibe of LinkedIn. Yeah. I think, if they had a Facebook local, I'm not sure I'd turn up to that. Or for an Instagram local, I'm not sure I'd turn up to that. But a LinkedIn local, the people that I like, the business people, and, I really have enjoyed.
Yeah. What I've noticed as well is people often come with an expectation and without an expectation.
Nice.
So they're there for a reason, but they're not attached to that reason.
Yeah.
So we've had people that have come along and they've found their next employer. Almost every event, we have someone doing business with someone.
Yep.
Or someone's just built a friendship. They've just found someone that they click with and they go to concerts.
Yeah.
Now. So we've had all sorts of people come through. So because there's no expectations on what you're going to get out of it, people sort of just take it wherever they want.
How good's that, right? Like, there's no expectations. So turn up and be prepared to say hello and be prepared to, get involved. So obviously what you put in, you get out, right? But I think it's a great, a great thing. And obviously, I still think LinkedIn is such an untapped media. And I think events like LinkedIn Local can really, even more so develop that,
Yeah, and it creates a bit of a community. So I think I've been to LinkedIn Local in Auckland, Hamilton.
Nice.
I think Dunedin as well. So it all kind of feeds together. Yeah, you kind of, everyone's, like-minded.
Yeah.
Everyone's got, similar sort of outlooks on life, and everyone's there to build relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the business building relationship online, right? Like that's the cool thing about it is you can take that, and this is what good LinkedIn Local's done really well is you've got that online relationship and you're taking it offline, and what you meet people face to face and you swap some stories and all of a sudden you're catching up for coffees, beers and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're building those relationships, which is,
And a place like Christchurch, you're 1-2 degrees of separation. So
totally
more than likely you're probably already connected with them.
Yeah.
You just haven't met them.
Them. Yeah, and it's a great chance to meet those people that you connected with, and build that depth of connection, right?
100%.
It's a fantastic resource. Where do people find out more information about that? Where can they go?
LinkedIn. So there's a LinkedIn page for LinkedIn Local Christchurch. So all of our events and updates are on there. And I think there's also a email newsletter you can sign up through.
Okay.
Sign up to. Awesome. That's linked on the LinkedIn Local Christchurch page.
All right. Well, we'll put in the show notes where you can go. But if you're not in Christchurch, just search it up, LinkedIn Local on LinkedIn, and get involved. Go to a chapter. I know the guys in Hamilton run a pretty awesome one. The guys in Auckland, they run a pretty awesome one. So just get involved, go in and meet some people. What's one thing and we've been talking for an hour, so we'll wrap this up. But give me one tip that you would give someone about LinkedIn to really grow their business using LinkedIn. I know you mean to being intentional and stuff like that, but what's something else that you can give people?
Yeah. So I think dropping expectations is a big one.
Yep.
So people go onto LinkedIn and they go, all right, if I produce a bunch of content, I'm bound to get business from it.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, that's what makes it harder to continue.
Yep.
So I think dropping expectations, let the platform take you where it takes you.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you'll post content, you'll find that some work, some don't. So focus on the ones that do work.
Yeah.
And, go 100% in on those and ditch the ones that don't work. So drop expectations, be intentional, and treat it like a tool, not a social media platform. So
so good.
Intentionally connect with people. Like LinkedIn has got some really good search facilities.
Yep.
So you can actually drill down and, search for roles and specific people and industries and companies. So you can be really intentional with the kind of people that you want to connect.
Yeah.
And the more intentional you are, the more niche your audience gets and the more targeted your content becomes.
So good. Drop expectations. That's a great one, right? And then just get in there and have none. Give value. Give value to the arts.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is be a good sharer.
Yeah.
Like share other people's content and comment on other people's content, because guess what they're not getting? They're not getting shares and they're not getting content. They're not getting comments.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
And if you're the person, all of a sudden you're insane.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. And it gets pushed out to your network and other people's networks, and
Mate, this has been a great chat. Where do people get hold of you if they want to? They've been listening. I mean, I like the cut of this guy's jib. I want to talk some more about some video content, him and getting the team of Dark Matter in there to help them. Where do they go?
LinkedIn.
Yep.
So look me up on LinkedIn.
Funny that. We'll put Chris's details in the show notes.
Or just our website, darkmatter.nz.
Darkmatter.nz.
Contact details are there. We're always down for a coffee.
Yeah. So how do people engage with you? Is it a coffee? Is it a conversation? Is it a video chat? What do you do?
Yeah, it depends on where people are. But if you're local, we'll shout you a coffee.
Nice.
We'll have a bit of a game plan chat. Get an idea of what you want to achieve and what we can do and how we can help. And if we're not the right fit, we'll tell you we're not the right fit.
Perfect.
Same thing over video calls.
And you look after clients in Christchurch, Auckland, and Melbourne. I was listening to it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Auckland and Melbourne are our basis.
Nice.
But we produce nationwide.
Awesome. All right. Hey, man, really appreciate you coming on. This has been a great episode. It's gone fast. I know if you've been listening and watching to this, you've been drinking from a fire hydrant. We've delivered some really, really good content here, but here's the thing. Now it's time for you to take some action. But the first action I really need you to do is to share this content. So if you see, this video, you've been listening, make sure you post it out on LinkedIn. Tag us in. We'd love to join the conversations. If you see some of our short form video content, tag us in. Tag us what you've learned. Tag us what you're doing. And if you want, hey, tell us about the first video you've created, or if you've created a video because of this content, tag us in, because we'll probably share it with people too, and all of a sudden you're reaching more and more people. So once again, go take some action, but always remember a couple of things: have fun, and as always, celebrate your victories.